Welcome back everybody to another episode of the Minecraft Let's Play. Today we got an awesome episode because I got so much stuff to talk about. So excited. But first off, what have I done? I've done some work on the house. Sort of got the basic house set out, and we got a few little details to do today. Let's get up there. Where we go. I'm going to give you the tour, the inside, and we're going to do the roof, since there's no roof on that yet. And, roof and, and windows and stuff like that. Let's take a peek on the inside. Well, pretty simple stuff. And we head up on the ladder here. And upstairs with some stairs that lead to the room in here. Like I said, gonna need roofs and we're gonna need windows. So I have collected a lot of spruce wood from, I don't know if you can see it from here. No, but right over that way you got some windows. First thing to talk about, to address, we're gonna talk about PAX. I got a lot of stuff to talk about with PAX, but first let me just mention for anyone who's on the server, they probably noticed, if they've tried to play recently, that the server, you can't join the server on the most recent version of Minecraft, which is 1.7.9. Can't do it, because the server is still in 1.7.2 technically, but you can join it from 1.7.5. And the reason for that is because the last version of Craft Bucket that has come out is in 1. Change these, actually. I'm going to have them face straight up. Last version of Craft Bucket to come out is in 1.7.2. So we have to wait a while, and unfortunately usually these things are pretty slow. Boo-hoo. I don't like that about it, but we gotta put up with it. Whoa, okay, almost fell off there. And hopefully pretty soon we should see it come back. Okay, so I kind of forget which orientation the roof is. We're doing an old school roof. We're using completely full blocks on it. Throwback to the days when there were only full blocks, except for a few different kinds of blocks. And I think it looks pretty good in the test world did. So I'm going to go refer to that. I'm also going to go get my list of things to talk about with PAX. And I'll be right back, and we will get our awesome episode underway. Be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm ready to go. So let's go. We're going to have a spruce roof here. Very cool looking, if you ask me. And let's start talking about PAX. So for PAX, I went on Friday and Saturday and had a blast. I had never been to a conference like that before. So awesome talking to developers, seeing what people are doing, seeing not only what the direction of some of the bigger games are, but my favorite part was the indie games. Seeing what people are planning to do in that area is always cool. Some people can produce some pretty cool stuff. So I got a lot of games to talk about that I checked out. One thing going into this PAX is that I knew that I was coming. Big part of why I was going was the stream. See some viewers, which I did see. I saw like Reckless Turtle and someone else. Don't remember. If it was you, let me know in the comments. Gave out some t-shirts, which was cool. Really happy that I got to give out some of those. Still got some more left over, and I have to figure out something to do with those later. So I was going mostly for the stream, but I was also sort of eager to just sort of see what PAX was like. By the way, I put these back because they were actually intentional. I didn't realize that. And And so I didn't have any like games that I really was eager to check out. I wasn't looking forward to seeing any one thing in particular. Hadn't even heard much. I feel like this year PAX sort of came around at a time where there wasn't much hype in gaming for anything in particular. Just a few things here and there that I was sort of like, oh yeah, I have heard of that. That looks kind of cool. Okay, yeah, maybe let's go check out the booth. But in general, not much. And yet I was still pleased with what I saw and with what was there, and I still had a blast. So let's see. I guess we'll just start talking about some of the games. I'm going to talk first about the funnest game. The funnest, is that a word? The most fun game that I saw there. In my opinion, of course, all my opinion. But the game that I have played a bit since PAX, and that I really enjoyed, and I also kind of have a funny story about, is a game called Nosgoth, which is a Square Enix game, which I believe is the same makers of a lot of the Final Fantasy games, but this game is very, very different. It's an asymmetrical multiplayer action game about vampires and humans. And what I mean by asymmetrical, if you don't know, it basically means that, if you think about like Team Fortress 2, right, that's a symmetrical game because every team is made up of the same types of people, scout, medic, heavy, sniper, all that other stuff, and a lot of games are like that. Call of Duty is like a symmetrical game because you have only everyone has the same sort of choices of guns, and each team is sort of doing the same thing. And then this is asymmetrical. What does that mean? Well, what that means is that they're different. So there is a vampire and a human team in this game, and the vampires, they can't sprint, but they can climb up walls. They have a lot of special abilities about their movement, and their sort of focus is to pick off single targets as a group, and kind of hunt, sort of. They're kind of the hunters. If you like look at game design a lot, you probably will have heard about like this, I don't know if you call it a dilemma or not, but it's called like the fox and the goose, fox and the duck, something along those lines, dilemma, where you have a fox who can easily demolish a duck, right? But then you get 2 or 3 ducks, and they can come at a group all attacking and stunning and sort of overwhelming the one fox until you have so that the geese as a group defeat the fox or something like that. And more along those lines. I think probably some of my game professors could explain that a lot better, but that's more or less what this game is kind of about, because a vampire, if found by a single human, will wreck it, will just obliterate it, and you're done if you don't have your any teammates around, and you're a human, and a vampire comes up to you. But on the other hand, if you are a vampire and you lunge into the middle of humans, they have a lot more stun abilities and a lot more a lot more like stun abilities, and I'm not really sure how to describe it without using like MOBA terms, but I don't know if everyone's gonna get that. I don't know if everyone. But yeah, so humans as a team can really hold their own against a couple vampires. If you're the vampires, you really need to try to separate the group and pick them off one by one. That's very interesting. I've been playing a lot of that, and depending on how it goes, whoops, I might do some streaming of it. I don't want it to interfere with Minecraft streams, so I'm trying to figure that out in a way where they don't interfere. Okay, that's cool. That's a very cool game. Very, very cool game. Next, I'll talk about one of the games that I was, like, probably the only game, actually, that I walked into PAX knowing that I wanted to look at, and that is Star Citizen Dogfighting Module. They had this big release on Thursday, this big sort of display of the module. I didn't go, because it's not like an official PAX thing. You had to pay for it separately. We're gonna go get some more spruce, so I'll show you where that is, but so I get to walk through the pretty flower forest. I think I know where it is. Huh, I thought I knew where it was. It's right over here, over this mountain, I think. And it was cool, though, because on Friday and Saturday they had this booth. It was actually coupled with the actual booth was the Logitech booth, like keyboards and mice and stuff like that. So they had all this really cool hardware there that you could play on. But one of the things you could play at the Logitech booth, and by far the most popular thing to play at the Logitech booth, was the dogfighting module, which had I believe it was a bot. It was kind of unclear. It was like set up at little stations with a computer on either side, and both computers were doing the dogfighting module. A little unclear as to whether or not you were fighting like a person, but I'm like 99% sure you were fighting a bot flying a ship, and you're flying a ship. For those of you who know Star Citizen, I don't actually know what ship you were fighting or what you were flying as. But one of the cool things about it is they had joysticks set up, and I've never done a flight sim, let alone a space flight sim where there's no gravity, with a joystick before, and I really don't. It was really fun to kind of try that for the first time. Although I don't want to, when the dogfighting module comes out completely, I don't want to have to buy a joystick if, like, it's... I guess I will if it's, like, crazy amounts of fun, but I hope the controls are just as intuitive with a mouse and keyboard. But there wasn't much to it. It was pretty standard space sim, and since it was only 1v1, it was kind of like there wasn't much challenge in the controls, because, if you accidentally overshot or anything like that, it's not like you're gonna leave yourself open to attack from someone else, so it's kind of simple. I don't know when we're gonna be able to play it, and I don't think I'm gonna play it that much. The parts of the game Star Citizen, which if you don't know about, you should look it up. It's kind of like EVE Online, except with dogfighting and combat and stuff like that, and players can create quests for other players, and you can form companies and stuff like that, corporations and whatnot. The parts of that game that interest me are not the parts of the game that are dogfighting and the combat, so I might not play that dogfighting module too much, but it would be fun to sort of get a feel for it before the Star Citizen game actually came out. On Saturday, the creator, the now famous Chris Roberts, was there, who is the creator of the game. This game, I guess you could say, is technically independent because they're doing it themselves, but it was funded on Kickstarter and raised millions and millions of dollars. I believe they just reached 40-some million dollars raised. They're no longer even using Kickstarter anymore. After the Kickstarter ended, they just kept going on their own fundraising campaign because of how much overwhelming support they got, and it went well for them. But the creator was there, the starter of it. Obviously, it's a larger company, larger project now, but the creator was there. He was signing stuff and giving away posters, which was awesome. But he also had like 6 guys in Logitech shirts, because again, it was at the Logitech booth, like security, which is kind of weird. And this line and it's funny because it's like they had him on display up front, and there was like no line. And that's weird. Why aren't people wanting? Well, the line actually started like 6 or 10 feet away from him, so everyone could see get full view of him with his 6 people, which was kind of funny because it was like suddenly he's become this. Not many people know who Chris Roberts is in the gaming world. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But certainly his claim to fame has been Star Citizen and its fundraising success. But then, he still needed this beefy security because of all the fans who might get a little weird. But anyways, it's kind of cool to see that he was there in person as a person, and not just someone who you see in a video every now and then. Obviously, he's committed to the project enough to hear from the fans in person. Very cool. But I guess let's move on. Lichdom is another game that I did not hear about beforehand that looked kind of cool. It's Lichdom Battle Mage. If you haven't heard of the game, I guess let's get one more tree. If you hadn't heard of the game, it's kind of cool. It's a first-person shooter, but it is not your average first-person shooter at all, because you don't use bullets and guns, you use magic. They took a spellcasting system very similar to that of Skyrim, in a sense that you have your two hands out in front of you with spells in each, and you kind of cast them both. But you don't have like a mana bar or anything. You can just cast spells as long as how much as you want to cast spells. And it's first-person game with the visuals. The visuals and the graphics look also very similar to Skyrim, but it's a multiplayer first-person shooter. So you got a whole bunch of mages in the game. You're running around and you're casting your spells and you're healing up and all this other stuff. Much like the style of your average Call of Duty Battlefield type thing, but again, all with magic and mages and not guns. Very cool. I did not play that one myself, but from what I heard from people who were playing it there, they wished it was slightly more fast-paced. It seems a little sluggish. Oh, rain. What else? Okay, Dawngate. I keep accidentally calling it Vanguard. Dawngate was probably one of the games at PAX that they were pushing the hardest. It is a MOBA game, so like League of Legends or Smite or Dota or something like that, but it was made by EA. Where am I going? There's the house, okay. It was made by EA. I did not play it. I don't really have an interest in playing it, and hey, it's Minty. Yeah, I don't really have an interest in playing it, and I kind of, I play Smite as a MOBA every now and then. I don't think that I could go from Smite to another MOBA, because not only would I not really know any of the champions, but, oh, there she goes. Egos. They go. Minty. There goes Minty. I don't know any of the champions, but also just because Smite is a third-person game where you're kind of controlling it a lot like this right here, right? This is your character, and all the other MOBAs are like the god point of view, up in the sky, looking down on the entire map. Probably take a while for me to adjust, and I don't really feel the need to. I'm pretty happy with Smite, but that was being that was being pushed pretty hard, advertisement-wise. Oh, how is this gonna go? You know what? It's nighttime. Let's sleep. On a related note to Smite, if you are a Smite player and you were looking to see where you could get the skin, because it was floating around, it's a Guan Yu skin, I think. You got it at the Twitch booth. It took us a while to find that. Nice little scavenger hunt there, but we found it. Okay, we're probably going to talk mostly about indie games from now on. I guess I'll mention... Wait a second. I forgot to tell my story, my Nosgoth story. So, I was wearing my shirt, right, with my skin on it and everything like that. It's a light blue shirt. A lot of you saw it in probably the Twitter pictures. And I had gone to PAX with some friends of mine who know that I stream and who you may have seen on the stream. Wait a second. Did this blow up a lot? That blew up a lot of things. And they, sort of like, oh, can I get one of your shirts? I was like, yeah, sure. I have them wear around some shirts, not really thinking much of it. And then we go up to Nosgoth, and we take 3 computers next to each other, and we were all really excited about the game, especially one of my friends in particular was like, oh, this is so cool, you know, I would totally play this, you know, I would play this all the time, you know, I really like this game and what they've done with it, etc., etc. And there was a guy from Square Enix that we didn't see right behind us, or who had been observing us playing, and saw that we all had matching shirts. And they were giving out keys for the game. They were giving out 3 keys. You know, like you get like key, and for 2 friends, you had to go up and you had to sign in to a Square Enix account or create one if you didn't have one, and join a newsletter. And in return, they would give you a key to get on the closed beta. So it's not like they were giving us special treatment, but the guy came over with some keys and started talking about the game, what you can do and what you can't do, and or you know, everything about the game, and he's, you know, like really paying us a lot of attention. It's kind of like, you know, so it was nice because I really like talking to game devs and stuff like that, but it was a little, I think I actually like it better without that. It was sort of like, you know, it was nice to get that added attention for sure, and I'm glad he did. But it was sort of like, why us? You know, kind of like, you know, why are you coming over and talking to us? And then he's like, oh, you guys from a team, you got a shirt on, you playing competitively, and thinking about playing this game competitively, and you know, I was sort of like, you know, I might, you know, this, I could see myself, whoops, oh, so close, really getting into this and playing it competitively. Yeah, and he's like, well, you know, what's on your shirts there? So I'm like, oh no, we're just here supporting my Minecraft live stream, which is very, very different from that. And then after we kind of told him that, he was like, cool, yeah, here's your keys, you know, well, definitely, you know, keep checking us out. And then we kind of walked away, so I think he sort of got his hopes up, hoping that we were a little bit, you know, more hardcore gamers. Well, we are, but, you know, a little bit, hoping the shirts meant something other than that they did, which was kind of funny. Yeah, that's good enough. Damn creepers, ruining your day. So yeah, that was my funny Nosgoth story. Not too hilarious, but kind of funny. Okay, I got a little story about Infinite Crisis. If you know the game, it is another MOBA, like League of Legends, Dota, Smite, and OnGate. Except that it is about, I'm gonna mess this up. It's from like, I'm gonna go ahead and say DC. I don't know. I never remember the difference of DC or Marvel. Not really into either. And let's see what we got here. Okay. And yeah, so how did I do this? I think I did it like this. Whoops. And so we went over and we were sort of just watching. I had a friend who played the game, and we were sort of watching this huge screen of people playing the game, and there were commentators there. It was live, this whole thing. Very cool. And this guy came over in like a little, he had his official Infinite Crisis booth shirt on, as well as a like Riddler hat and stuff like that, and a, what do you call it, cane or staff or whatever it is the Riddler uses. He's talking to us about like, oh, you know, you can go sit in those chairs if you want something more comfortable, you know, blah, blah, this is what we got at our booth this year, this is who you're watching play, all this other stuff. Nice guy, very friendly. And he was like, oh, and we also have this, do you have Twitters? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I've got a Twitter. And my friends were like, no, we don't have Twitters. And so like, you know, didn't really think much of it. Whoops, still got lots of sniper in there. And he says, well, you know, we can, you can get your picture taken, and it'll be tweeted to you, or to us from your Twitter, rather, and enter a contest, and you can pose with all these superhero costume things on if you don't have your own. And you're like, yeah, well, you know, none of us cosplayed or anything like that. So, oh, cool, you know, yeah. And he got all excited because he thought we were going to take him up on his offer, and we were kind of like, you know, nah, I need to do that. Like, alright, well, there's someone in there now, just wait a second to freeze up. And we were, you know, started to sort of like walk away just because we sort of thought we were done there. And he was like, oh, guys, you know, it's open, come take it. And he hustles us in and starts taking this picture. And I got I got a copy of the picture. I think you can also see it on my Twitter of just like me and some friends and like little gears like, where are we? What are we doing? But hey, entered a contest for Razor. And we made that guy's day. He was so happy that someone actually took him up on that. So that's good. Let's take a look, see what we got here, and then we'll continue with our stories. Also, actually, I think I'm going to wrap this episode up here. We'll move on to a part 2 of, or next episode we'll finish up some PAX stories. Alright, so we're going to do some Windows stuff here, for sure. And, but that's looking good so far. I'm happy with the way that's coming out. Light blue glass for the window, that's what we're going to do. Oh good, these grew. And we don't even need them. So yeah, that is that. Yeah, I gotta go get some lapis for that, which I'll probably do. Actually, you know, let's do some caving on camera. Why not? Talk about some other games. I got a really important game to talk about because it might be important to the future of this channel, or not. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go gather some glass. Gonna get, or not glass, but sand. And we'll get ready for the next episode where we talk about these other games. We're talking about the fun games next. So tune in next time for sure, because it's gonna be indie games mostly, which wouldn't think so, but it actually is. Well, okay. I guess it's a kind of up to you in your opinion, but I wouldn't think so, but it's actually the much more interesting topic. Remember, Minecraft is technically an indie game as well, right? Even though it's hugely popular and made a lot of money, but still technically indie, I guess. Thanks for watching. I'll definitely see you next time, I'm sure. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to help me out, and I'll talk to you next time. Eddie out.